It is November. Just like that. I was glad to see summer go. And next thing you know, October just blew by and here we are in November. Or I guess I'm so busy with the World Series watching my Dodgers win to not pay attention to October very much. Welcome everybody, it's good to see you.
You gotta have priorities.
You gotta have priorities, yes, always. We have any newcomers today? Y'all look like veterans to me. Anybody on Zoom new this morning?
No?
No? Okay. Very good. We have new themes for the month. That being life, poise, and knowing no other. And I'm gonna ask our musician Cheyenne to come up. It's always good to see her. She's going to play a little bit for us. We're gonna go right into meditation this week.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hope you guys are well. Let's just close our eyes and relax and go inward, allowing everything to be set aside for the moment, all of our thoughts. They can come and go, but let them go. And just give your inner self a moment to relax and breathe. And settle in to the present moment and who you are. Love, 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 love. Gospel in one word is love. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. The gospel in one word is love. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love, love, love. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, light and love. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, sacred air. Thank you, human self. Thank you, inner Christ divine within. Thank you, beautiful life, for this experience. Help us to enjoy it to the fullest. Help us to embody what you are more and more every day.
Yes, we are all about love. We love ourselves first, and then we can love everyone else in and around us. Because that's who and what we are. We are poised in life to enjoy and to gather with each other. On this beautiful morning, thank you, God, for this time together. And so it is. Thank you, Cheyenne. It's beautiful. It's time for our spiritual thought. I want to bring up Reverend Kim Haley for that.
That just reminded me of Don DeLuise saying, "No applause, save it for the end." You never know what I'm going to say. Thank you. I picked the topic life. It's a small topic. It's kind of a big topic. And I thought, what would I talk about? There's so much to talk about. And I thought, I had songs. You know how your subconscious mind will play songs for you? Mine does anyway, and I thought of Frank Sinatra. And some of you are too young to even remember his music, and some of us that are here remember it. And he's saying, that's life, that's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. This was his take on his life at that point, and he didn't even write the song, but he sang it really well. And I thought he was talking about change and resilience in that song. Not to dissect it, but that's what the words came across to me. Riding high, and then sometimes you feel low. And lately, I have been feeling a little bit of the fall weather thing, the change coming, and feeling my energy kind of going like this at the moment. Like I want to sleep in more, and I want to just sort of be at home and hole up and be warm and comfortable. That's how I've sort of been feeling. And then I thought, life keeps giving you, things, and it's my perspective and my idea of what that is. Is it a chore, or am I fortunate? How do I want to look at my life right now? What do I want to do with one precious, wild life right now? And that's a Mary Oliver line. And it helped me, to do a talk for everyone here, a little spiritual thought. It helped me to get the positivity flowing again, to look at it, to listen to other people and their quotes and what they say about life. And I always had, I also used to listen when I was a young teenager, and we had a terrible hi-fi, and I would play Joni Mitchell songs. And she talks about both sides now. Now, I think there are more than two sides to life. I think there is a multiplicity, like 8 billion people multiplicity, of how we view our lives. And I love to listen to people's music and take, where were they at that point when they wrote this song for us to listen to, like both sides now. And so I did take some of her lines, and one of the lines I have is, she said, dreams and schemes and circus crowds, I've looked at life that way, but now old friends are acting strange. They shake their heads, they say I've changed. And, well, something's lost, but something's gained in living every day. So I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all. And that I've always liked her. She's a Canadian, I guess. And I used to listen to her on my scratchy little player, and that she even thought about this many years ago. She probably has changed over time as she has lived more. and so do I. I've changed as I've lived more. And I get to experience life, and the gratitude for that is overwhelming. I really appreciate that. And Ernest Holmes talks about life as the animating principle of being, that inner something that makes everything live. And I believe that life is life word. It is, and we are, and we experience it. And we can pull ourselves out of a slump by realizing what a gift it is, even when we're feeling a little tired or groggy or overwhelmed. And so that's, I was just thinking about all those things, these connections that we make. And I thought about Fizzle Fulton. And I'll just say a short thing. Fizzle Fulton, some people knew him. Fizzle had a terrible accident when he was 21. It wasn't his fault. And he wasn't supposed to make it through the night. But he lived for another 40-some years. And his attitude, even though some days we all do have some days where we struggle, because he was badly injured, I have to say that he enjoyed being alive, and he was an inspiration to me. He sang, he worked hard, he overcame many, many things. And I find him, we used to talk about a lot of spiritual things together. And Fizzle was, I'd say to him in the morning, well, how you doing today, Fizzle? And he goes, I'm standing on my hind legs. That's what he'd say. He had funny redneck humor. And he was standing on his hind legs. He felt good. And he liked to sing and do those sorts of things until he didn't. But he was happy about that. We could talk about anything. And so, he was my inspiration for a lot of things. And one of the things, too, that I looked at Einstein, I'm trying to put all of these big thoughts into different people. But in my mind and in my body and in my heart, I'm very grateful to be here. I'm very grateful to breathe and look at the trees change color and see people's faces and be involved. And there's other times where I just want to go sit quietly by myself because I feel like that's where my energy is for that time. And it's okay. It's all okay. It's all that big experience of life and living. Here's what Einstein said, which made me kind of laugh too. We are slowed down sound and light waves. A walking bundle of frequencies tuned into the music of the cosmos. We are souls dressed up in sacred biochemical garments, and our bodies are the instruments through which our souls play their music.
Beautiful.
And with that, I will say, I'm happy to be here, happy to see you, and so yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Fly me to the moon. Let me play. Come on. So I'm back. And you got Frank Sinatra in my head. Jeez. I'm a little bit too young to remember Frank, but I do remember Frank. Beautiful man. Cheyenne, a little music? Let's give her some love, huh?
Back to you guys. Does everybody here know that the divine is inside of you? Because I hope you do. That's what this song is about. We're gonna affirm that we are the radiant light of God. It kind of sounds like a preschool song, but that's okay. It's gonna be fun. strength of God, vitality, energy, venom of God. I am the radiant life of God. I am, I am, I am. That's over to you. I am the wonderful love of God. I am, I am, I am. I am the wonderful love of God. I am, I am, I am. The peace of God, the joy of God, serenity, harmony, rhythm of God. I am the wonderful love of God. I am, I am, I am. I am the wisdom and power of God. I am, I am, I am. I am the wisdom and power of God. I am, I am, I am. The light of God, success of God, prosperity, happiness, might of God. I am the wonderful power of God. I am, I am, I am. Radiant life again. I am the radiant life of God. I am, I am, I am. You are the radiant life of God. You are, you are, you are. You are the health of God, the strength of God, vitality, energy, venom of God. You are the radiant life of God. You are, you are, you are. You are, you are, you are. You are, you are, you are.
Thank you, sir. That was wonderful. Now it's time for our main speaker, and I want to bring up Reverend Sandy West.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thinking about the topics this month was interesting. I love the song, Where You There You Are. That was perfect. Knowing no other. Just listen to that song, it gives you the truth. Knowing no other. There is no other. Just this one absolute. And all of the things that we believe flow from this one absolute. It's a presence, it's a power, it's a foundation for us. And when we look at that, there's a poise in it as we become it. When you think of poise, it's like I'm standing like this instead of like this. I'm not moving around all over. There's a gracefulness, a quietness in poise. So when we're graceful and quiet, it makes me think of the now moment. That everything is now. It's beautiful now, it's perfect now. I'm enjoying now. I can see the sky and the clouds, and I see the trees turning. I went over by the library this morning because I love driving down there. They've got a couple of trees that are just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, there's yellows, greens, all different shades, the rust color. It makes you feel good inside when you look at things like that. And that's what's so important about focusing on the now, how it makes us feel, how we then live within truth, with our connection to source, with poise. And all of that is a foundation for how we live our life. What is our life? Our life is, we call it, the time we spend on this planet. What are we doing with it? How are we doing it? How do we live it? When we're living it from poised way of being, when we're living it in the truth, there's a flow to it, a beauty to it, to where we no longer have these gigantic up and downs. We have a more mellow approach. We're still gonna have issues, we're human. That's part of life. But it's all about how we handle it. How are we going to approach it? What's our attitude going to be? So I was thinking about goals. We always use goals a lot of times to attain what we want. So I thought about what's the long-term goal that most people want? And most people want happiness. And to me, happiness is an approach to life where everything is okay just the way it is. It's how we interact on a daily basis. I can remember reading years ago about a newspaper vendor and how everyone went and bought their newspapers for him because he greeted them. He encouraged them. He wanted them to have good days. It was a lovely experience to start their day that way. Those kind of things are important. He smiled. He brought happiness. He was happiness. He was exhibiting it. He didn't live in a big fancy house and have millions of dollars. But he had a family, and a family that was happy with the way it was and how things were going. It was important how they lived the life. So I've heard so many people say they want happiness, but do we know what happiness is? I didn't. I thought happiness was a high. I thought when I got high when I drank that I was happy. And then I found out it was an illusion, because I was really miserable and I wanted to die. And when I couldn't have the courage to kill myself, I had to start looking at other things. So one of the things I chose was happiness. I'd like to be happy. And then I realized that that meant financially secure or all the other things that I wanted in life. But how to get it? And that's when I started with the small goals. Going to get help. I went back into treatment. Going to get a job. Went back to school to become what I am today. I allowed all of that to be something that guided me. But I changed my attitude. I no longer wanted to die, I wanted to live. And I wanted to live life to the best of what it could be for me, whatever that was going to be. And I had no idea what that was then. I was just going to school. I was just learning. I was just hoping someday to help and to make a difference. And it took me along, and I kept looking at this happiness that I put in the future. And I started to think about, how can I bring happiness into my now? How do I do that? And I realized it started with little things. Waking up in the morning and appreciating that I'm alive. That I have another day to go and do things and help. To appreciate the beauty in the world. To see the good in things. I quit reading the newspapers, the magazines, all of that were only trying to put me into turmoil or put me into fear. I turned away from fear. And that is probably the biggest move I made that got me on the right path. I no longer feared. I would look at things with more of an expectation of good. I didn't have to worry about what people think of me. I can't change that. They're going to have their own thoughts, their own things that they need or want. But I can look people in the eye and I can see their hearts. And I started to see that all of that was a part of happiness. Happiness was a contentment. It was a journey. It was something that I wanted and wanted to share. To help people see that. It's not easy to understand. It's not easy to change our thinking, but it's doable and it's worthwhile. And we work at it. I used to say, I would write, when I was in trouble when I was a kid, I'd have to write the sentence 500 times before I could go to bed. And boy, that was hard. But I realized that it did help in a way. So I didn't write things 500 times anymore. but I would do a legal pad, front and back. And it could be things like, I love myself, I enjoy living, I am healthy, all these attributes that I wanted to be, that I realized were part of my happiness. And then I realized that even when I went into cancer and the chemo, I could still be happy in the middle of that. My family took care of me. When I went to the doctor, I had 3 or 4, my granddaughters and my daughter and all going with me to make sure that somebody got the notes and somebody knew what was going on. It made a difference. And that was happiness, that I didn't have to do it alone, that somebody cared. But if I hadn't changed and healed myself, they wouldn't have cared, and they would not have been there for me. So I kept looking at happiness, and I realized it wasn't so far out there anymore. It wasn't a long-term goal anymore. It was what I was creating in my here and now. It was what I was feeling now, what I was being blessed with now. To be able to enjoy everything, whatever that is. To enjoy the grandkids, or to enjoy coming to church, or enjoy hugging a tree. All of it was up to me, how I enjoyed it, and how I felt about it. We are responsible for ourselves. That is our biggest mission in this life, is to learn that. And then to do it in the healthiest way possible, in the best way possible, whatever's going on. And none of this depends on how much money I'm bringing in. None of it depends on how big a house I live in or how new everything is. It depends on me embracing life, embracing what it is that's in my life. And it gets easier and easier and easier the more I do it. It means that we don't turn away from things anymore. We look at it, we meet it head on. We embrace it. We let it challenge us if that's what it's going to be. But we can still conquer it. We can still become friends with it. One of the biggest things that helped me find happiness was to put things like fear and anger back where they belong. We need them. There are times when they protect us and help us, but they don't need to be driving the bus. They need to be where they need to be until they're needed. And not be in charge. My anger used to be in charge. I couldn't even control it. It was so in charge. Angry at me, angry at the world, angry at who I thought was doing it to me. I don't have that anger anymore. It's not there. It just went away, went back to where it belonged. I can't think of anything I've been angry with for the last couple of years. I get frustrated. There were some burnout times. I wish things could be different, but if they can't be different, I'm the only thing I can change. I'm the only thing that can be different in my life. And it's up to me to determine what that looks like and how I want to do it. It involves looking in the mirror, folks. Looking yourself in the eye. Maybe questioning yourself, making statements to yourself. Asking yourself, are you the person you want to be? Are you behaving well? Are you caring and accepting? Are you open and receptive? Are you someone that somebody wants to be around or to see? And we have to ask those questions, and then we have to answer them and be truthful in our answers. We can't lie anymore to ourselves or to anyone else. That's what gets us into a mess. If something isn't working, it isn't working. Not making you happy? Maybe you need to change it or stop doing it. Because it's not working in your life. We need to figure out what works and run with it. Go with it, become it, live it, do it. And then it all becomes exciting. Because we enjoy getting up and going out. We can enjoy seeing other people, smiling at them, helping them, being with them. But it's up to us what we choose. So I challenge you this next year. What are you gonna choose for this year? Is there anything you can change? What could you change for this coming year? And change might be doing more of something. When I work with clients, I ask them to write 10 things that they think are good about themselves and 5 that aren't. And then out of the 10, to take a couple that could be improved and work on that. And then take a couple that aren't working and what can you do with those? How can you change that? What could you replace it with? How could you make it different? We have to think. Is this the me I want to be? Is this the me I want to pass from this world, leaving in other people's memories? And it's important. We still have a long time that we can work on things. But we have to choose to. We have to rally around ourselves. Nobody else is going to know you're doing it. Only you. Nobody's going to judge you that you didn't measure up or didn't do all your things you needed to do in that way. You're the only one that knows. And then when you look back in 6 months, you think, man, I'm different now. I'm doing things different. I'm thinking about things differently. Life is different. But it took you to start that first step, the first change, the first discovery in yourself. We all have a heart, a loving heart. It's up to us to open it up and allow the love out. I didn't do that for years. I had a wall around my heart. You could get hurt if you let your heart out. People didn't appreciate it. It took me a long time to be able to do that, to open it up, to let it out, to share it. But it's one of the best things I ever did in my life, was to do that and to approach life with an open heart, to love. And loving isn't being in love with. Loving is this way of the divine flowing through us, reaching out, embracing all of us, touching us. Love is all around us if we will allow it to be us, to allow ourselves to be the divinity that we are. When you go forward this today, look at the beauty outside. Send love, feel love going out around you, touching everybody that you go by, adding love to their life and helping make a difference in their life. If we were all doing this, we wouldn't have a Ukraine going on. We wouldn't have all of those things happening in the world. If we want to be leaders of this world, we need to lead in love, share love, be love, appreciate love, recognize love. Do that this week. The world needs each and every one of us every day doing things like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. I think the hardest thing for all of us to do sometimes is to ask for help. It's tough because you don't want people to know your business. You might feel a little embarrassed by what's going on with you, or maybe it's very personal. But when you ask for help, I've asked for help before, and I've had other people ask me for help, and I know it wasn't easy for them to even ask. But we do it with non-judgment and support, and it works every time to lift somebody up. I really believe that. That's what I was feeling when I was listening to Reverend Sandy speak. It is time for our offertory. Can I get a couple of people to come up and help me with that?
You just so happen to be in the front row.
Is that why you sit in the front row?
Quicker walk to the front. Didn't we?
Now let's do our offertory statement together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive.
So how do we do this?
Thank you.
It's interesting.
And I believe those on Zoom know how to send offertory to the PLC if you wish to. On the iFocus, it's really easy instructions there on how to send your offertory to us at the center, so thank you for that. And thank you to everyone who's financially supporting this center. It keeps it open and alive and well. Are there any announcements? No announcements. Oh, there's one.
Okay.
Prayers for our friend, Jenny, whose husband, just had surgery yesterday.
Prayers for your friends Jenny and
Jenny, who comes here, Jenny Flaherty.
Oh, Flaherty.
And
Oh.
her husband, who just had surgery
her
yesterday.
husband just had surgery yesterday? Very good, thank you, yes. Yes.
I'm gonna announce that the lute and the drum circle is coming up on, okay, the flute circle, I don't know what you meant, but that's okay. Is, coming up on the 9th, I think, it's the 9th of this month. And, you're welcome to come, if you don't play a flute, you can come, we have loaner flutes, maybe. A lot of them are out right now, but you're welcome to come, it's a lot of fun, it's, for beginners, it starts at 1:30 on Saturday, I think the 9th, and then at 2 o'clock, more of the, not advanced, but people that have been playing a lot longer come, and we just mix it up, and we just do different things, and it's a lot of fun. And then at about 3:30, Judy comes in to set up, and I want you to talk about your drum circle.
So after all the wonderful musical fluting, we have a drum circle at 4 o'clock. We set up at 3:30, you can come and help with that. And we do this as a community event. You do not have to be indigenous. It is about the collective consciousness of the drum beat and the frequency and the harmonics that come from joining in entrainment in being a part of something bigger. And we send that energy out into the world, and we know that we are moving energetically, ourselves, our body, our spirit, and our minds. We have drums and we have rattles, and I invite you to join us.
Thank you, Evan, thank you. It's a very powerful experience. Anybody else, announcements? Okay,
I have one.
yes,
Okay, I wasn't gonna say it because it's gonna be cold and it's gonna be, anyway. I'm playing with my Salsa Bossa Nova band in Merced at Ingram's Music Store in front of the store on Thursday. I think it's gonna be about 5 o'clock. It's gonna be cold probably, but, you're invited to come. And anything else about it? No, that's right. 5.
at 5 o'clock.
In front of Ingram's Music Store.
Ingram Music Store in Merced, right?
Yeah.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
She told me during the-
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say it's far away too.
Is that an outdoor event?
Yes, it is.
Oh boy, okay.
We've been wanting to put on those winter clothes.
Oh, yeah.
There will be some other ones indoors and coming up in the future, probably in Mariposa or here, so I'll let you
Good.
guys know about those too.
Okay, perfect. Our prayer partner this week is Reverend Kim Halen. You can talk with her after service for prayer, if you'd like, or you can ask any other minister or practitioner if she's busy with someone. Also, we have the frog box in the back. If you don't have time to stay and you want to put out a prayer for someone, please fill out that sheet back there, it's really easy. And ask for prayer treatment, and we, all the ministers and practitioners, receive those, and we pray upon those. And I'm telling you, this prayer does work. It surely has. I have seen it myself so many times. Let's do the prayer of, next week's speaker, Reverend Bob Hand. I can't wait to hear what you have to say, Bob. Have to figure out something. I understand. It's gonna be great, I'm sure. The prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds
Holds
me.
me.
The
The
power of God
protects me.
The
The presence of God watches over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
Yes. Yes, Laura?
I forgot to bring up the fact that we have a spiritual discussion group on Tuesday at 5 on Zoom.
Spiritual discussion group
5:30, I'm sorry.
at what?
Spiritual discussion group, 5:30 Tuesday.
5:30 Tuesday,
Lead is in the iFocus.
and it's on Zoom. Okay, thank you. Cheyenne, you got another song to close us out?
This is one that everybody probably knows, so please sing along if you feel like singing. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day, dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Yes. Thank you, Cheyenne, as always. Reverend Sandy, will you come up and give us a closing prayer, please? Let's give her some love, huh?
You're walking like I do. Just close your eyes and take a deep breath. And just breathe in the presence of today. All the beauty around us, all the beautiful people, the open hearts. Feel that. Connect with it. Oh, it's a beautiful church here. A beautiful group of people. Choose to live. Go forth and choose happiness. Choose healing. Choose to have the highest potential life you can have. All is possible and all is yours. And then give thanks for it. knowing that all is well in your life, and so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend. I hope you all have a fabulous week. I think it's gonna be dark about 4:30 tonight. So
Maybe 5:30.
get out there and have some fun when you can, while you can still see. Yeah, the changes are always coming, aren't they? Thank you all for being here, and thank you for being a part of the PLC. God bless.
Thank you.